Now there's something strange that happens occasionally when we're graphing systems of linear inequalities. And it happens when we try to graph this system. Let's suppose we want to graph the system 2x minus y is less than or equal to 2, and y is less than 2x plus 3. Again, calling these A and B. A, I'd like to find the intercepts. I'm going to have you pause the video and try on your own to find the intercepts for a moment. I get 0, -2 and 1, 0 for my intercepts. I hope that you found the same thing. So x equals 0, y equals -2, x equals 1, y equals 0. Do we want a solid or a dashed line? Right, we want a solid line. And then I'm going to think y equals 0. So I'll have 2x is less than or equal to 2, x is less than or equal to 1. I want to shade the region that contains this left part of the x-axis. So I want to shade over here. B is easier to graph. It's in slope-intercept form. Y-intercept is 3. Now the slope tells me go right 1, up 2, but that takes me off the graph. So instead I'm going to go left 1, down 2, right? 2 over 1 is the same as -2 over -1, remember. Here, do we want a solid line or a dashed line? Right, dashed, because this is strictly less than. And now I'm going to think x equals 0, because that's going to make the algebra simple. I'm looking for where y is less than 3. I want to shade the half that contains this bottom part of the y-axis. Now what's different in this problem? What's different here is that these two lines are parallel. But we can still look and we can still see where do the red region and the purple region overlap. Well, it happens that in this case they overlap in the space between the two lines. This solution looks like a strip down the middle of the plane. There are other ways the overlap could form, right? It could form so that this part over here is the overlap. It could form so that this part over here is the overlap. Or there's one last thing that could happen. We could get a system that looks something like this, with the area above the purple line shaded, the area below the red line shaded. If this happens, notice how there is no overlap between the shaded regions. When the shaded regions don't overlap, there are no points that satisfy this inequality and also this inequality. If this is what we see for our graph, our system has no solution.